Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds Podcast.
Each episode, we invite extraordinary guests who are masters of their craft. They're innovators, entrepreneurs, and of course, motorcycle enthusiasts who have made their mark in the world.
They share their stories, insights, and hard-earned wisdom, giving you a front row seat to the strategies and experiences that shape their successes.
So sit back, grab a drink, and get ready for an exhilarating ride as we dive deep into the minds of these exceptional individuals.
Along the way, we'll uncover powerful strategies, gain fresh perspectives, and explore the limitless possibilities of what it takes to be an American mastermind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds Podcast. I am very excited to share this evening with you guys. We have something that I've been looking forward to for, a full month now. And this is a series that has been hugely impactful to my life, and I know that Mr. Alec over here, we've been looking forward to this quite a lot. So this is the Golden Nuggets number 2. I have I guess you're the host tonight, aren't you?
I'm the host with the
host,
most.
Mr. Rob Adams.
Hello, everyone.
We have Jared Bayless over here.
Hello.
We have Alec Langdon.
Hello.
And Mr. Scott Watson up on the soundboard. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it.
All
Rob,
right.
what do you got for us?
Tonight for our Golden Nuggets number 2, the intention is first to check in on the progress of Golden Nuggets number 1 and see where we were, what life lessons there are, maybe best practices or habits, takeaways. So let's just jump right in. And one of the first things that we started to do, and we're going to go over 2 of the things, and if you can think of more, we'll talk about them. But the first thing is journaling. Every morning for the past 60 days, is it right?
60 yesterday.
60 days yesterday, you have been waking up early and you've been spending a dedicated period of time writing, I am thankful for. Let's talk about that. How has that changed your day?
Man, the first part to me is the routine, because I've been waking up a hell of a lot earlier, and I think that has a lot of benefit, but there is something about doing those gratitudes, and especially when you do them right when you get out of bed.
Yeah.
Dude, it changes the whole frame of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't get through that and then be in a bad mood. It takes something else to put you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even the things that the other things that come along seem more manageable.
100%. 100%. And you start to notice stuff throughout the day. Because you're actively looking for things, subconsciously you're looking for things to be grateful for, to write them down.
Totally. It activates that gratitude kind of beacon, or that seeker, right? You're constantly at that point looking for, and I'm looking at the things, or looking for the things that I put in the book that day specifically, and or not even really consciously, but subconsciously, to your point, and I see them everywhere. I see them all over the place.
And they do something else too. The gratitudes, I've mixed in some there's stuff that is already here, and I'm mixing in gratitudes for stuff that I'm wanting to have happen, right? And so it's put me in that mind frame of, okay, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Then you start the manifesting train of bringing the wheels around. You know what I'm saying? I
do know what you're saying. Manifesting, in my opinion, is the process of raising your frequency to receive the thing. It's not wanting the thing. It's not planning or hoping for the thing. It's becoming the person I need to be in order to attract it into my life. And that's my definition of manifesting. And so this is the first step that people leave out in the manifesting process. And so I feel that that's a huge discovery along the way. Now, as you're doing your gratitudes and you've activated your reticulator activating system, and you're looking all day for things, oh yeah, I wrote about that, and oh yeah, I was thankful about that for my spouse, or whatever it was, or my partner, or my roommate, or my employer. Those things become more regular. The thing that you said that I wanted to spend some time on is you're looking for things now I'm going to write down for tomorrow. Right. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess for me, I'm looking for any opportunity to be grateful. I think that's kind of what that puts me in the mentality of when I wake up, the first thing, being that gratitude is kind of the first mode that I activate in the morning, then it becomes almost a competition with myself to see how much I can be grateful for, in a way. But again, it's not so conscious. It very much is happening kind of above my understanding, but I notice it. And especially at the end of the day, I'll notice it as well.
Thoughts, Jared?
I always do mine in my work truck. I'll get to a job site. And then I'll take those few minutes and be in my work truck, ready to work, but then I'll do my gratitudes. And I want to touch on, if you're not grateful for what you already have, then you're not going to ever receive more. So I always feel that, man, I have this job that nobody absolutely loves their job most of the time, but
Yeah, they have to pay you to go.
but
Yeah.
you know, I'm grateful to have that job. So doing it in my service truck right before I'm at the job site is, I don't know, it's kind of a way to start the day.
I love that.
It's pretty nice.
It is nice.
And then my guys are probably more thankful too that I'm in a good mood, you know.
It's interesting that when you're in that space that you create without even having a conversation, you create more gratitude in your immediate environment.
It is.
It's
toxic.
It's toxic. Yeah, it's a sickness that it can be spread just as easily as anything, right?
Yeah.
And if I can go in there with gratitude and a positive energy, then people will pick up on it. And I'm a transmitter of that thing. And if I can make the room more positive and have that, well, then what more can we accomplish? And here we go, and we're off.
And then it's just a give and take, and then everybody's frequency is. That's what I like.
Lining up.
I like the.
To
I
your-
like that.
To your point about the like manifesting as well, I've been noticing myself writing a lot more. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and that's something like recently with my injury. I've been writing down that I'm grateful for the opportunity to heal. That's something that I want. I want to heal. I want to be better. But I'm grateful for the opportunity to go through the process of doing it.
Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
That kind of plays to what I was just going to say. So I've also been dealing in the Stoics and really kind of diving into that. One of the Stoic philosophies is, you know, it's ultimately your choice how you receive it or look at any given situation, right?
Right. You have no control.
No control.
You only have control over how you react.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first things that puts you in that state of mind where whatever the situation is, you're also now hunting for the positive of it, right? Where I'm not actually taking in the information quite the same way. It's like a barrier. It's filtering out the circumstances that are going on around me, and I'm naturally trying to find, okay, am I going to be grateful for something, or I'm trying to find the positive, or how this is going to like bloom into something new.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
It is cool. I love that. It says in Christian theology that the natural man is an enemy to God. And I can translate that into our natural disposition is to wake up grumpy, to be in a bad mood. If we are aligned with God, our creator, the universe, insert your favorite word in this sentence, then everything is happening for us, not to us. Our attitude changes and we're receiving and reacting in a way that's more powerful. So thank you, boys, for doing that. I really love that.
Yeah.
The second part I want to touch on the gratitudes is the actionable gratitude. Any experiences with that?
It does work like the $100 bill.
Tell me more.
Okay, full admittance, I was kind of bad, hit or miss on actually getting through with it. But every time that I did, the person that received it, it was like giving them that $100 bill, like the example. It's kind of wild, and then their whole day, all of a sudden, is all perked up, and they're having fun with it. You know, it is something to be passed out. It's cool.
The thing about the $100 bill, and I was thinking about that example, is it's like I'm giving you $100 bills, but I'm getting $100 back.
That's what I was just about to say. It's 100%. I almost always feel that I got more out of it than the person that I'm giving it to.
Do you have an example?
Actually. So I oftentimes will write down that I'm grateful for my space. And then I started reflecting, I think it was last week, I started reflecting on the idea that, well, where does this space come from? And my roommate, who graciously purchased this house and is letting me live in it, I reflected back on it and thought, you know, I haven't really thanked him for providing this space, for being so gracious with it, and for allowing me to really benefit greatly from it with the housing market lately and everything. I am in a really great spot because of my roommate. He's done a lot for me in that way. And so I decided that my gratitude, my actionable gratitude for the day was going to be thanking him for that. I did, and it felt to me, and he was, you know, very grateful for my gratitude. He was excited to hear that I was happy about the house, about all the improvements that he had made to it since we'd lived there. But more than anything, I felt really happy that he knew how much it meant to me that I was there with him, that he was providing that space to me, and that I felt safe to the point where every day it ends up in my gratitude journal that I'm grateful for my space.
Powerful.
Just
Now,
imagine the sense of accomplishment he has from
Exactly.
from that. Like,
Yeah.
man, I've really done something special.
Well, the thing
pretty
is,
great.
it is great. The thing that's great about it is we all go through life, each of us in our human condition go through life believing that someone should be thankful for what I've done for them.
Yeah.
For what I'm working hard for. I'm showing up for you. I did this for you. And we all kind of feel that. And if that's true, then we all need to be giving that more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? We need to be the change that is going to happen in the world. And if we can start with that, like I'm going to give out more gratitude because I would like it in my life. Well, guess what? You'll get more in your life.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Somebody has-
use of the you got to be the change you want to see. That's a perfect example of it, right? Like,
Thank
man,
you.
I really feel like I should be receiving more gratitude. It's like, well, give it.
Yeah. Are you giving it?
Yeah.
Somebody
that's-
has to make the first step.
Yeah.
In any interaction, anything that you're doing, somebody has to make the first step, and it's not going to be anybody else.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is if you start to show that gratitude within your sphere, the people that are closest to you, your roommates and your family and those people, it becomes kind of a habit because they see that I just turned $100 into $200 and that felt really good for me. And you'll have your little one come up to you and be like, Dad, you know what? Something I'm thankful for about you. And they'll like throw something at you and you're like, okay, all right, thank you. You know, that felt really good. And so you're teaching them to receive it and you're teaching them to give it. All the people around you, we are the leaders in those spaces. I don't care what anyone says, and our job is to lead them into a higher frequency.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Love that.
An experience with you, Jared, that you had to doing the actionable?
About the kids, I
Oh.
just thought of that. Like my little boy, he'll always come up and say, I like your hat. And I just love that. You know, I've been more keen to giving compliments and being more grateful towards my wife, and it's cool that they see that.
Yeah.
I like that.
The other thing, too, that I think is the male condition of the human condition is that we're not good at receiving that. We want it.
Yeah.
I want someone to be thankful for me, but if someone comes up and says, man, Rob, you did a really good job with Thanksgiving's Heroes. That was amazing. I'm like, nah.
Could have done better.
That's nothing. Thanks. Thanks. I'd blow it off. And so the ability to receive is also being taught. Do you know what I mean? Like we need to receive this energy really well. I know you get
and
that.
I feel
I do. I'm laughing because one of my actual gratitudes went to somebody sitting in this room, and that is not our normal communication pathways in any way. It's there. We're both very grateful for each other, and but I made a point of like I'm gonna go and actually speak this out. And if I could give, I don't remember what the actual response was, but it would have been like, yeah.
I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall for that.
Stop. I don't want it.
That's awesome. All right. So anything else on the gratitudes, actionable items, or doing it every day that we haven't covered?
If I were to throw just one thing that I've put in on top of that is I spend 30 minutes of, I call it hard learning. Whether that's reading, trying to come up with, I found a way to read concepts of larger books and whatnot. Just kind of dilute it down, and hard learning. And that, to me, I feel like it's kind of like the making your bed when you first wake up. I feel like I've accomplished something. I've learned something that somebody else, and I've really dug into some of my baseball ways and doing hard things that nobody else is doing. And there's something to be gained with that. I feel accomplished when it's done, and the combination of those two has really made a tremendous impact in my mornings.
Oh, that's amazing. There's a book, I'll think of it, but the book talks about building upon a healthy activity. For example, they use, if you want to get in better shape, every time you brush your teeth, you do 100 push-ups. Or, you're already doing something good for you. Add a little something else good on top of that. And so I really believe that this is a great foundation to then go work out or then add something extra on there. Like add a healthy habit. And I think that's a really terrific one. I like to go onto YouTube, and there's I'll geek out on a guru or Tony Robbins. Sometimes I'll fall down that rabbit hole, and I'll spend a lot of time absorbing their information. And you can listen to it a little bit quicker. And that's my hard learning, and I'll spend some time doing that while I walk. I'm not listening to music, or when I'm at the gym, I'm not rocking out. I'm listening to something and learning at the same time, because I want to use my time, which is super limited, as best I can. And I do enjoy music. I love good music, but man, if I'm exercising and I'm in a space of receiving, I should receive something of value.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've got one for you, just to add on that. Motiversity is what it's called.
Motiversity. I've seen their posts.
Yeah, it takes compilations from Tony Robbins and all the speakers, and they put it with music, right? You want to talk about something to listen to while you're walking? You get a little best of both worlds, is what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motiversity.
Motiversity. I'll
Is it
send you
on?
links.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. All right. Second step in then was becoming, as we were talking about creating an intentional life, is starting out our day in a proper method to raise our frequency, but then setting intentions for the day. Those intentions would be set on our MVP, the mini business plan. And if you haven't heard these terms before, please go back and listen to the Golden Nuggets podcast #1. I've created successful coaching organizations around these principles. I'm creating another one, and I would love to talk to you about that in the future. But the MVP is the foundation for living an intentional daily life. And the thing we're going to talk about in this podcast, what we're really headed towards, is how we do an MVP for the year. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's go back to the MVP, mini business plan. What was your experience with that, Alec? How did you feel that affected your day?
It's the reason that I walked in here instead of hobbled on in crutches. It has kept me, for the last month since I hurt myself, it has kept me moving. It has kept me going. The habit that I had ingrained in the first month saved me in the second month for this exercise, because I had
That's
That's really
incredible.
No, really. I mean, I love the concept of it, and I remember in our first kind of overview when we were a month in, us talking about how impactful it was and how great it felt to cross things off and get through the entire list, but also just how good it was to have that accountability factor as well and be able to keep yourself on task. But what it turned into for me for the second half was just because it had become something that I wanted to do every morning. I wanted to wake up and I wanted to plan out my day. And if I didn't have that want going into the second month when I had hurt myself, I think it would have been really easy to just go into self-pity mode and just screw up.
Spiral.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and to the point where it has kept me so rigidly on top of my PT that I'm a week ahead of my PT schedule, which is already basically as fast of a PT schedule as they could possibly expect anyone to achieve, and I am beating it out by a week.
Amazing.
And I think that's coming from the mini business.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's for sharing that.
It's allowing me to do 3 hours of additional, because my PT plan now is 3 extra hours of stuff that I have to do every single day that I didn't have to do a month ago. And I'm trying to manage that on top of staying productive in every other way that I want to keep being productive in.
So you are telling me that you have 3 hours more productivity in a day.
Yep.
Now, I find that kind of hard to believe. I'm going to kind of go on the devil's advocate side. Like, how the fuck are you finding 3 extra hours? Because I'm a busy guy. 3 extra hours. Tell me about that.
Packing it in however I can. So when I'm doing PT, luckily there are like shortcuts that I can do to get other things done at the same time. So when I'm doing PT, I'm also responding to emails. If I can, right? Some of the exercises are really intense and I have to just put the phone down and focus on it. But the easier ones, I'll be doing my posts, my like social media posts for all of my businesses for the day. I'll be responding to emails, or I'll be putting a plan together for my work day, for my 9-to-5 work day. And that saves me a ton of time right there. So that's oftentimes those are things that I'll do in my morning PT session. And then in my evening PT sessions, I'm doing all the same sort of catch up. I'll be listening to my audiobooks. I'll be kind of just doing everything that maybe would be something that I would be idle for. If I can be moving while I'm doing it, I'm trying to do that as well. And then on top of that, just waking up earlier and going to bed later as well. And I think it also helps, as a whole, helps you compartmentalize a little bit better, or at least track. It's certainly not like the practice, which I would recommend anyway. I've done this as well in the past, where you track every 15 minutes what you're doing throughout your entire day, and you can do that for a week, and you can see how much time you're wasting. This is, in a way, kind of like that, because it keeps you accountable to how much do you think you can get done in the day, maybe push it a little bit further, and then if you were able to at the end of the day do all that, you kept yourself pretty well on track.
So you're not getting more hours, you're just using your hours
way more
effectively. There's not time wasted between tasks. You're going from thing to thing, or even multitasking.
And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get to that next task, and I'm excited to multitask because I know that I'm getting a lot done.
How does it feel to cross those things off?
Feels good.
Feels good. Feels real good.
Feels like a pat on the back, right?
Yeah.
Like I deserve to feel good about it because I worked at that.
That's a victory.
Yeah,
a win.
exactly.
I love that. Yeah. Toph.
I've had to make some adjustments to mine a little bit. One of the things that I felt which is the actual opposite, right? Okay, I would set my list, and then it was kind of like these grand, I'm going to do this, and it took one small curveball to knock that off, and like now we're not getting anywhere.
Right.
So I've found two things personally. I would actually attribute this to the waking up early. I wake up at 4:30 now to do the, because it's
In the morning?
In the morning, it's hard. You
I
got to
have
do
one of those
stuff.
twice a day. I can't believe that.
But I would attribute that to has put me in the gratitudes, has put me in a mode of, again, I haven't had this since baseball, but I work from, there isn't a moment wasted until I actually drop into bed. So I've changed my MVP a little bit. I dropped it down to 11, okay? First 5, hard, stop, this has to get done no matter what. I can't go to bed until these 5 are done. Non-negotiable. Then the back 5 is like, if I could find the time to get these done, these would be it would be nice too.
Okay.
And then the reason I dropped it down to 11 is my bonus. The 11 is the one thing that I could do today.
Your stretch.
Is like, if I got that accomplished, damn it, I have crushed today.
So that being said, how many times, what was a percentage, would you say, of your hitting 11?
Now with this system, maybe just happenstance and whatnot, I've gotten a lot better at accomplishing this. But when I was putting the 12, like the first month-ish, I would put the 12 on there, and like I said, it was probably my fault putting, too many, it would be nice if items on there and being really hard on myself. And I was feeling like I failed the day if I didn't cross everything off.
Yeah.
So I had to gear it in a way, still push myself, but that I was getting it done every day.
Something interesting about the MVP, which is hard to describe to people who are first stepping into that world, is the MVP is not a big task list. It's the little bites to eat the elephant list. And so a lot of times, and I think this is where you may have stepped into, is like you were putting big projects to be accomplished, big things to happen. And that's just not how big projects work. Big projects happen because every day I'm consistently moving towards the goal.
Right.
And that's what the MVP is for, is the everyday little bit at a time.
It needs to turn to the 1%.
Right.
This is
That's
how to
right.
accomplish the 1% extra a day.
Right. So that's an excellent lesson to learn, because I think that when I first started the MVP, I was writing things down like set 6 appointments and to do the thing and to do the deal. And you start to realize like that would be great, but what do I really need to do to move the needle today? It's not that much. It has to happen, but it's a gradual wearing down of the entire project, right?
Yes, 100%. And on that note, that's something that's maybe the hard learning and whatnot. This is a marathon. This isn't a sprint, and I get caught up real easy in I want to go and get this done. I want to go. And it's not. It is a 1% a day. Keep moving forward. Keep chugging away at it.
In so doing, though, now you've been doing it for 60 days and you're looking back at a 60-day period of time, are you seeing a significant increase in effectiveness, or are you advancing your projects more quickly because you have intention?
100%. I'm at a place where I expect myself to be, which
Wow.
is that's a big deal for me to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your expectations are ridiculous,
100%.
if I may.
Yes.
Absurd.
Yeah, but I like doing all of this stuff. It's the combination of everything, whether it's starting the day at 4:30, starting the day with gratitude. I am getting, like, there's no downtime. I'm not spending any time in the infinity pools. It's like I actually feel like when I go to bed, I've done it, I'm good, and I'm relaxed.
There's a book called The Gap and the Gain, and it talks about every day, at the end of the day, focusing on the gains, like spending time in the gains, rather than being in that spot where like, man, I wish I would have called Alec, or I should have made the thing, and I could have, rather than spending time there, you spend time and you fall asleep in the mindset of, man, I can't believe that I got the billing done. I can't believe that I, got the actionable items taken care of. And you're like, spend time like in that space as you fall asleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're waking up, it's a compound effect that you're building. And it starts right when you get up and it goes right till you fall asleep. There's no period of time where you're walking around thinking miscellaneous random bullshit, because that's what it is. And almost always that bullshit, that internal dialogue is that voice saying, you're not good enough, you can't, it's unrealistic, where this keeps you in a place of like high level driving towards charging that hill. It's what us men need. We need to have this. And if we don't, we feel lost, we feel depressed, we feel all of the things, my relationships aren't as good, my marriage isn't as good, my money isn't as good, all the things kind of fall apart because I'm not traveling in the direction that I really want. And that first really want comes down to, what is it? What is it that I want? What is going to move the needle? What is going to make me happy? And so I love this. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Jared, what do you got?
My big thing is the accountability. Like, nobody else is going to hold you accountable for your day. So that's where I feel most accomplished, is like, man, I got in my work day, even when you just write down the little things, you know, I need to get this done today at work. Just a little, I know it's not supposed to be a checklist, but it does keep you accountable. And like, man, I accomplished all these stupid little things that have been
Hanging on.
They've been in the back of my mind for weeks,
Yeah.
you know. And it also helps me keep my guys going at work, you know, because sometimes it's hard to, you know, I'm watching these guys, those guys, these guys, and it just keeps you accountable.
Yeah, you have a lot of projects you're managing at the same time.
That's what I like, is the accountability. Because, like I said, no one else is going to hold you accountable. At the end of the day, if I don't get the things that I need to get done, it's only on me.
I feel like at this table, especially, we have kind of an entrepreneurial mindset. And if I had to be accountable to you about all of the things on my MVP, I would resent you. It would be a problem. But when I'm accountable to myself,
Right.
and I'm a hard enough boss. I don't need an extra boss. I am ruthlessly hard on myself. And so if I can give myself that little bit of like, hell yeah, I got all of those little things.
Those done.
They're done. And that's been bugging me for a long time. I should have done that months ago. What was I waiting for?
Yes.
It increases your bandwidth to be present. And if you can be present, all those projects then become manageable.
Yeah.
Rather than having all this static in the background. You got to get the thing and you should have picked up the deal.
Yeah,
And
that static is a killer. You can waste so much time just thinking about BS that's in the back of your mind.
Yep.
But if you just write it down, then
There it
makes
is.
it easy that next day.
Yeah. Did you feel that you were getting more done because you were moving from item to item more quickly, or because you're busy all day?
I don't know if it's more done, but I just feel like in my mind, how do I explain this? I don't think I get more done. I just feel
You're giving
like
yourself
it's easier.
credit for it.
It's easier to stay on task, to know what has to happen next.
Present with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And I hate that fog, that oh man, what has to happen next? What has to happen next?
Oh yeah, I should have got the.
It's kind of like, to your point on our very first Golden Nuggets episode, when you were talking about the even your leisurely time. You want to be able to fully enjoy your leisurely time. It's like the same thing, right? It's like,
I don't
not
want to think
necessarily-
about that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let my leisurely time be, all right, this is time, like, I've scheduled this. I know that this is good for me and I need this.
I love to take that work hat off and know that I killed it today.
Yeah.
That hat is off. I don't need to worry about that for the rest of the night.
Did you ever catch yourself doing your MVP for tomorrow so you wouldn't worry about tomorrow? Did you do any like tasks like?
Sometimes.
Almost every day I'm doing my MVP for the next day.
For the next day.
It may not be the whole thing, and that's fine too, right?
But it's little things that I don't want to think about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that I know that will nag on me if
Yeah.
I don't. Just write them down. Just forget about it.
I hate falling asleep thinking I need to call Jared. I don't want to be thinking about that. I just want to put it on there and I'll call you when I wake up. You know, I can do that.
That is one of the biggest things I've noticed in the last 60 days is just how many of those little. I mean, I like to think I'm a pretty smart guy. I was letting a lot slip though.
Yeah.
There was so many good ideas, so many good thoughts that were just like, oh yeah, and then gone. Never written down, never managed in any way. And now it's finally like I'm realizing my potential. My mind is working, and I'm actually catching those thoughts and putting them down.
So in applying these activities, as you're doing this, as you're using the MVP every day, which I think is an infinitely powerful tool, especially applied over time, where do you see yourself in 5 years using a tool like this, Topher?
Can I, real quick, I want to touch on something Jared said.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a new phenomenon, and you guys know me and know that this is a big deal. It has happened in the last 15 days or so. I've had probably 6 or 7 nights where my brain has said, Toph, you've done enough. At 8 o'clock.
No.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. At
8 o'clock?
At 8 o'clock. That's a
healthy time.
I don't ever remember that happening. I don't remember that happening.
So it gives you the power to shut down.
It literally saying like you've done enough. You need to go rest so you can wake up and go. do it again tomorrow.
Huh? Like you're giving yourself permission.
100%.
What?
Boom.
That's
Boom.
that's a phenomenon right there.
Mic drop.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're healing bodies. We're changing lives. The MVP, baby. That's where it's at. I love the MVP. I suffer from anxiety, and the reason that I suffer from anxiety is because I am future-minded. And so I get so hung up on all the things that I need to do that I break down and don't do any of them. If I have this...
Guilty.
Yeah? Does that resonate?
Yes.
If I have
Analysis
this...
paralysis?
Yes. Well, it's not even analysis paralysis. I just get to the point where I'm like, I've got so much to do, just like...
Yeah, I can't do it all.
I'm going to go eat nachos.
Yes.
I think that
2
the
bowls of
MVP
ice
helps
cream.
with that, especially like for me, it's these 11 things.
Yeah.
And so it kind of limits it, like, okay, that because I have another list. It's actually on top here, but like those are the future ones. So I still have a list for that stuff, and when I can fit them in on the daily, then it comes in.
That's a good idea.
But-
That's a good idea. Like you can have your
You can have the
your
big
future.
list.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big list. Yeah. That's a great idea. Well, so now let's talk about the annual MVP.
Okay.
This tool, and the question I asked you before you went back to the point, which I'm grateful that you did, is if we can apply the MVP over a period of time, imagine how it's going to change your life.
Oh.
Compared to what the progress that you were making, which was, by the way, amazing. You guys are all amazing guys. Like, I'm not sitting here with a bunch of bums. You guys are doing amazing things in your life. If we could be applying this level of efficiency and focus and intention in our lives, where are we going to be in 5 years? What is it going to look like? What can we accomplish? And so now let's take this tool and put it on a bigger perspective, an annual MVP. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I went to a Tony Robbins event, and they have what's called the Wheel of Life. And in the Wheel of Life, there was a spoke that went out called financial, called business, called health and education and faith, all of these different spokes, and you were to rate yourself on a 1 to 10 level where we were. Financially, I'm a 7. I'm doing pretty good, but my family relationships, I could do better. Maybe I'm a 3. And my physical health, I'm doing really good right now. I'm an 8. But my spiritual health is shit. I'm a 2, maybe a 1, like really low. And the reason it was called the Wheel of Life is because if you want to travel at a high rate of speed, you got to have wheels that are balanced.
You gotta be balanced.
If your wheel is sticking out over here and low over here, and you get the going down the freeway, how long will it take before?
It's only fun for a minute.
Yeah, it's only hilarious when it's happening to someone else. The problem with that is we're a motorcycle networking group, and on my motorcycle, if my tire is if there's a problem with it, my life is over. That's how I look at this Wheel of Life. And we are traveling along as humans blindly going down the road because we're not conscious or intentional about all of the spokes.
Yeah.
So when I did that, and he made it very clear on that I've been running as fast as I can, which is slow. You can't go that fast if you only have a 10 on one spot. It doesn't matter if the 10 is a great 10. If these other areas are suffering, you will go slow. How can I speed my life up? By improving the wheel.
Yeah.
You guys with me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. And so what I did is I came home and I wrote down on a piece of paper, and we've got these pieces of paper right here, all the spokes that I have in my life. And I see you added one, which is good. I'm going to go through them really quick. We have business, family, marriage or significant relationship, friendships, financial. We got the American Mastermind.
Well, you put TGH in there, so I figured it had to go in there.
Yeah, no, I love it. Spiritual, health, education, and a charity, or mine's TGH. These are all the spokes of my life that are meaningful. And if you have others, add them. If you have something that I haven't thought of, please add it. Now, the way that this works is that in every area, just like you do your MVP every day, you have your 5 non-negotiables. These are gonna happen. No matter what, no matter how, this is happening. I'm gonna put all my effort and energy into this today. So if we could apply that to a year, we're gonna pick 3 or 5 things that have to happen. Let's just pick one. Let's just jump over to health. Health is an easy one. Now, in health, there's a lot of things in our world that we can do to improve our health. There's diet, there's exercise, there's rest, there's all the things we can add into health. What are the 3 or 5 things that are going to happen this year in your health that you're going to do? Then the second part is, what would you like to have happen? Like, it would be cool if I could knock out 100 push-ups in one time. It would be cool if I could, whatever. And this, when you do this exercise, I want you to do it with the mindset of a 7-year-old at Christmas, on Christmas Eve, knowing that mom and dad killed it last year. Anything is possible. Santa's going to bring something fucking amazing tomorrow. Like, this is it, man. This is going to be the best Christmas of my life. Boys, this is going to be the best year of your life. Feel it. Look into it. Don't look at these things like, in reality, in the thing in the deal, and talk yourself out of it, because we're so good at talking ourselves into being reasonable. I want to be unreasonable just for a second, and I just want to put it out there. What would it look like? How would it feel? How would it feel if I could get to a certain body percentage or at a certain weight, or my leg was working perfectly, or how would it feel? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, everybody has a thing physically, and I want to know what that would feel like. I want to think about it. I want to spend time in it. And then there's the stretch. So we've got the musts, it'd be cool ifs, and the stretches. Yeah. Now, the stretch could be something like, I want to be at 3% body fat. I want to run a marathon. I want to, I don't know, what would be a stretch? What would be a stretch for you?
Running a marathon.
Run a marathon.
Sure, be a stretch.
Stretch for me would be to hit my goal weight. I've been trying to hit my goal weight now for a minute. I'd love to get down to that 230 pounds would be great for me. I think that my joints would feel better. And I've been trying to get to 230 for a minute. But what if I hit that? How good would it feel for me to actually be in the space, the weight that I really want to be? And so these are the things that I want to put down. Now, if we're going through these...
Just for clarification, so it's 3 to 5 things that have to happen.
How
many cool ifs? 3 to 5?
3 to 5.
3 to 5, okay. And then your one big stretch?
1 or 2, whatever you want. But this is the Christmas time. This is a Christmas time wish. This is it. This is the one thing. If I could have the one thing, what would it be? A bionic arm? I don't know. On your spiritual list, let's go down those. Like, a spiritual thing might be for you to do a ceremony, to do a medicine ceremony, or to meet a shaman, or to find a guru, or to read a certain number of books. That might be more education. Spiritual might be spending time meditating every day, or spending time. I'm going to read all of the scriptures, plus I'm going to read the thing and the deal and the deal and the thing and all the stuff. Like, what am I gonna do to travel the spiritual road, and then my goals? Now, we're looking at all of these things in the same light.
For those listening, spiritual gratitudes, starting your morning early, that counts.
That would be a great one.
That's 100% one.
That would raise your spiritual frequency significantly. The gratitudes every morning.
Yes.
And so the thing is this is something you're going to get better at. And the reason that we have 2 copies, and the reason I would recommend you going on and clicking on the link that's associated with this podcast and printing 2 copies, is because you're going to write these things down, and you're going to look at some of them and be like, no. But this would be more important. Financial's a good one. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to put together my trust? Am I going to have my will put together? Am I going to save a certain amount of money? Am I going to donate a certain amount of money? And what am I going to do with my finances this year that I would really want to do? Am I going to invest in that certain program that is going to make me rich? What is the thing that I want more than anything in the world? I'm going to find it. Now, we're going to be doing this on every single sheet of these papers. Now, there's a lot of it. And this is something that you don't do lightly. This is something that you're going to write all of it down, scratch things out, and then you're going to have your final. This is the final over here. Now, you're going to take your final, you're going to write down your musts, your likes, and your stretches. And this is going to be in your journal every morning. Every morning. Now, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to read, okay, business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm building my team. I'm going to change my CRM. I'm going to change brokerages. I'm going to recruit this many agents. I'm going to do these many deals, whatever.
That sounded real.
Yeah, that's not made up. I'm going to do these things, and then as I'm doing these things, I'm going to read it. Now, business, I've read it this morning. I've spent some time thinking about how good it's going to feel to have these agents on my team, and I'm helping them build their lives, and we're helping people find homes, and we're doing some cool stuff together. Like, this is my team, man. This is my family, my work family, and we're making money together. We're doing it. I'm going to spend some time feeling it. You guys follow me? It's not just a quick read. I'm going to take a moment and imagine that Christmas morning when I'm opening those presents and I'm getting that brand new bike, that feeling. Then I'm going to take the business one, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to put it on the very back, and the next one that comes up is family. Next morning, and this is now my marker in the journal, I move it down, I'm writing my journal, I do my gratitudes. The next morning, the first thing that I read is about family, and I'm going to spend some time thinking about family. And then I take the family one and I put it in the back, and I'm going to go through this, I'm going to go through this, I'm going to go through this. Yeah. Every morning, this is something that I read. Now, people do dream boards, and they put them up on their wall, and what happens to the things that are on your wall?
They disappear
They vanish.
magically. Your eyes stop seeing them.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you've been to my house, you've seen the signs that I put all over my house. I periodically move the signs around because I will not see them anymore. I will quit reading them.
Strange how that happens.
It disappears. And so what I want to do is I want to continually put this at the front of my mind. This isn't something like a dream board that's up there that will disappear into the year. And then it's August and I'm like, well, shit, I thought I was going to, and then you give up on it and you get back to doing what you've always done. And then you're going to get what you've always gotten. And I'm done doing that. I don't want anymore what I've always gotten. I want that Christmas morning where I'm opening up that new bicycle.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, I want to look back like I do at the end of the day. And I'm like, man, 2023, that was a tough year, but look, and here's the thing that I'm going to tell you is you're going down the list, you're going to be surprised at how many likes and stretches you actually do. Because you're thinking about it, you're attracting it, you're looking for the opportunity for that one just jump in and to do that and go for it. It's crazy where you'll see yourself at the end of the year. And when you do it again, you're going to do it with a little bit more wisdom. Okay, that was cool. Like I was a little conservative in this area. I'm going to do a little bit more in this area. What could I do in this area that would create the life that I want? Now, as we're doing this, that's the real question. What if I could do this year the things I'm going to do that's going to create the life that I want? I don't want to continue to get what I've gotten, because that's how you end up being 65 years old and looking at your life and thinking, what just happened? It's Christmas again. It's Christmas again. It's Christmas again. You guys seeing this already? You guys feeling it?
Yeah.
The year goes by and you think to yourself, what have I accomplished? What have I even done? Have I even moved the needle? I get up in the morning, I go to work, I pay my bills. I get up in the morning, I go to work, I pay my bills, and then I fucking die. That is not okay.
Yeah.
That is not okay. We are
that's
men
not-
of intention.
That's not what I want.
That's not what I want. Nobody wants that. But at the end of your life, they say that the graveyard is full of millionaires and good intention. You know?
Yeah.
And it's absolutely a waste. It's doing no good in there.
Yeah.
It's doing no good in there. So we have an opportunity right now to paint our own picture, to write our own stories, and let's do it well. Let's not just sit in our ship and be blown through the oceans, whichever way the winds blow, because the economy, because my girlfriend, because of my job, because of my... No. It is not okay anymore.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
You can fire up them diesel engines and
Get on that wheel and crank
her wherever you
that
want.
wheel wherever you want to go. But it's up to you. But what most people do is they're going through life and they are victims of circumstances that are beyond their control. And I am not a victim.
no.
I am a warrior. I am a man of results.
Right.
And in order to be that, I need to know what I want, and I need to know how I'm going to get it. I need to picture it regularly. MVP, that's what we're doing. We're doing it on a daily level. And you guys have seen the power that can happen in just one day. What could happen in a year? Questions about this? Go.
My thought is just that I feel like I've been very lucky in my life to be surrounded by a lot of really talented, smart people. And I think everyone at this table is one of those people. And I think one of the shortcomings that a lot of, not people at this table, but people that I've met in my life that are really talented and capable have, is you can just idle through life. Like you can just set your engines to idle. And you'll make it. Like year by year, you will actually progress maybe more than other people in your life who don't have the capabilities or the talents or the skills.
Just through dumb luck, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so to your point, I feel as though I've been doing a bit of that, a bit of just idling through life. And I'm really excited to turn the engines on.
Well, the reason this is stackable with the MVP is because once you do the MVP and you've actually committed to doing it, you can actually see the value in creating a actionable, this is happening today.
Yeah.
And this is the stretch. And this is the would be nice if. You can see the value in that after you do it for 60 days. Mm-hmm. Imagine doing this for 365 days, and this is something that's continually going through your mind. What if in your financial life you've never set up a trust fund? You've never set up a will? What if in your spiritual life you've never taken time to meditate? You've never been intentional that way? What if in your relationships, in your marriage is a great one, in your marriage or your significant relationship, you've never had a date night? You've never taken time and intentionally done a love journal with your wife and whatever it is. And here's the thing is that when you're doing these things, you're going to be asking people, you're going to be talking about stuff, you're going to find ideas. You don't have to come up with everything right now. It's the beginning of December, mid-December, when you're going to be listening to this, and you have until January 1st to throw the switch. And so now's the time for you to take this rough draft and just hammer it. Just write stuff down like, man, that would be cool. And then you're going to think about it and be like, nah, it's not as important as I thought it would be. And the other thing, too, is if you have a partner, you have that roommate, you have someone in your life, you are going to go to them, and I'm going to tell you, Jared, this is what I would like to have happen with the American Masterminds. And then I'm going to have you sign it. You are my American Mastermind partner in this journey this year. You and Scotty over there, you're my partners in the American Mastermind. And what I would like to see happening with the American Mastermind is right here. This is my dream, my goals, my must-haves. You should know those things. We should compare notes. Now, what about in my spiritual life? Who could I talk to?
Spouse.
Your spouse. Maybe you have a spiritual friend, a guru, someone in your life that is and a good example.
Right.
Like, find that person. One of the things I've learned about as I've grown older, I've always looked for an example. I've looked for a mentor. And what I've learned is there's no mentors out there that have
Everything.
all the things.
They have one area figured out.
They're just like me. They're going down the road. Boom, 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 boom. They're spiritually dialed in, but they're fat. And they sweat on a cool day. You know what I mean? On the health thing, on the financial thing, all of these things, you want to find someone and you want to have them read it. You want to share this. Share it with me. Share it with someone that matters to you in your life and have them sign it. And then at the end of the year, your job, before you do this again in January, is to go to that person and say, hey, Jared, boys, this is what I wanted to happen with the American Masterminds, and go down the list. I am now accountable to you at a higher level than I've ever been accountable to you before. You guys know what I want with the American Masterminds? No, you don't. You have no idea what I want. I've never shared it with you. I've got some ideas. You've got some ideas. We've all got some ideas. What if we put them together and we were all intentional about it and accountable to one another? What if with my marriage...
The intentional thing is huge.
Is huge.
I was thinking about that when you were talking about like the date night or anything like that. If you're intentional with those, with all that time that you're spending on other things, I think that's important.
Well, if you want to build any relationship, the most important relationship, you want to take that person and you want to share with them your dreams and goals. Because without that person, you can't do it.
Right.
If she's not on board for date night once a week, it doesn't matter that you wrote it down.
Nope.
If she's not on board to whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And so when you give it to her, you're going to give it to her and you're going to be a little bit vulnerable and say, hey, this is, babe, I love you. This is what I want from our relationship this year. Can you support me in this? Can I ask for your help? And you'll be amazed that they'll show up way more than you do. If you have date nights and it's Tuesday nights or whatever that night is, it's easy for me to forget that. And she'll ask me, and he'll be like, hey, what are we doing for date night tonight? I'm like, holy hell, how did it get to be Tuesday again? I should have been thinking about this all along. She is looking forward to it. She's holding me to it. And then guess what happens? Date night happens. Even if it's just us going out on a walk. Something easy.
But just the walk, but if you're intentional with that time,
yes,
it turns it into something special.
Yeah. So then what is date night? Date night is nobody has their phones. Date night is I'm talking to you.
We're focused on each other and how we're doing this week or
whatever.
I would love to have a date night every week, once a week. That's going to be on mine.
And in that date night, you can go online. There's books that you can buy that are like questions to ask each other on date night. And you can ask each other these questions. Andy's printed up a couple, and they're like, holy crap, I love this.
And then before you know it, 2 hours has gone by, and you're talking about
whatever
BS.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's intentional.
Right. Well, and the thing is then you remember.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's why I like you.
Yeah.
It's not just a business relationship anymore. Did the kids get picked up? Did you pay the bills? Why did the trash get out? All of the things that happen in the week that have to happen in order to run a successful business or home.
Yeah.
Has to happen. And that relationship can be any relationship that you want to focus on. If I want to improve my relationship with Topher, then Topher, this is what I want us, this is how I would like to do this. We're going to go to lunch once a month. We're going to, whatever. We're going to do these things. And I would like to go on a trip. I'd like to do these things. Your relationship with me is that important. I want to, can you help me with that? And Topher's going to be like, hell yeah, I'm all about that. And so it's whatever relationship you want to pour into that needs to be improved in your life, whatever. It doesn't have to be a spouse. Can I be clear about that? The other thing that you're going to do as you're putting this together, as you're going through it, you will read this, and there's quite a few accounts. You don't have to have all these accounts. You don't have to have them all. This might not be your wheel. You get what I mean? You can change the names, whatever you want, but you want to have the stuff in there, and you want to be going through and viewing it regularly.
I like the rotation.
Actually, can we throw another layer on this? I just thought of something.
Let me hear it.
Let's, as a challenge to all of us here, use this next couple weeks to brainstorm and get them all ready. We'll do a podcast, whatever. I think it's the 4th is the first, January 4th is the first Wednesday. When we come in to do that, okay, we'll do the final version. If we want to get the signatures, you got to make sure you bring them with us, and let's laminate them. Because it's not official until it's laminated.
I like
And
that.
then you could flip them through, and I'll bring the laminating machine, and we'll get that done.
He owns a laminating machine.
Of course I do.
I'll bring my 3-hole punch in my laminator.
Where do you think these came from?
I love it. All right. I love that. That sounds like a great plan. So our goal then is to have everything finalized by January 4th. Can you guys agree to that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. And we'll put that down as our goal. And I think that's a good goal. And I would just really encourage you to spend some time every morning in your journaling practice, your hard learning time, and pour into this. This is the most important thing that you can be doing as we step into the new year. If you want this next year, if you want 2024 to be exceptional, mind-blowing, then let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's make this happen.
I'm ready.
Yeah, why not? I'm due.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: is I've done this for a lot of my life. After I did that Tony Robbins event, I really started doing this. Last year, I didn't do it, and as I was putting this together, I thought to myself, "What a waste of a year!" This year was I existed. I what was the word you used? Was it coasted?
Idled.
Idled. I idled through this year, and it was a pretty good year. I had a lot of great things happen, but there's very little intention other than my daily having to accomplish moving forward. So this is a paramount part of the daily thing is great, but you can also get to the end of the year doing your daily things every day, have a lot done, and still look at it and be like, what was the goal? This is the big list for the big list.
Right. I like it.
Questions about this?
I think
I'm excited.
one of the first things you got to do is you got to identify what your spokes are.
Yeah.
Right?
What's important
What's
to you?
important? What actually needs to be on here? You know?
Maybe the things you're struggling with, put more focus into those.
Yeah.
I think, well, to balance the wheel, make sure you don't make it all hard.
Right.
Make sure you got the ones on there that
Some
are
things,
your good
some
ones.
things we're already doing well.
Yeah. But how could we do them a little
you
bit
could
better?
those stretches on those could be
Huge.
nice.
Could be huge. Every time I've done this, the stretches, I'm amazed at how many stretches I get. Like, I just got goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, I get some crazy, like, I did that. I actually did that this year. Holy cow. I would have never, it was a dream. It was a dream that I had, that there's no way in hell that I could actually accomplish that. And I did that, and I almost did it in such a way that it was like, well, of course I did it. Like, why not? Why wouldn't I have done it? Where before it was an impossibility, it becomes a simple thing because I'm thinking about it every day. I'm feeling it. At least once a week, twice a month, I'm going through and I'm seeing this, and I'm spending time in that space. So that needs to be a meditation. It needs to be something you journal about. I'm excited that when I make $1 million for my nonprofit this year, that I can start an endowment, and that endowment will create and away I can go. And I'm visualizing it, I'm planning it, I'm thinking about it. I'm spending time already there. So we're taking manifesting from a daily level now to an annual level, a yearly level, and then imagine what you can accomplish manifesting at a level exponentially huge.
God, if we just took and maintained this projection that we're on after 60 days, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing things change in the direction that you want. You're going to start to shape your life in the way that you want it shaped. As we're idling along, the one thing that we do is, we're waiting for that opportunity for the ship to come in. We're waiting for our ship to come in. People spend their whole lives waiting for the ship to come in. And is that me? Who's ringing? We're going to have to edit this.
It's not me.
It's Rob. It's me. Sorry, everyone. All right. Let's start again.
Waiting for your ship to come.
Oh, yeah. So we spend our whole lives waiting for the ship to come in. A lot of people will spend their whole lives and leave this the mortal coil, and their ship has never come in.
Right.
This is swimming out, grabbing the nose of the ship, bringing it to the beach.
God, yes, I love that.
You got to get in the water. You got to be swimming. You got to do the work. You've got to that's my ship.
Throw that rope between your teeth
and get to swimming. Get to swimming, baby. Because the ship will continually pass us by. There's always opportunities on the horizon, but when are you in the right place to receive them? Only if you are in the right place.
Right.
Emotionally, physically, financially, to receive them. This gets you in there. This is talking about emotionally, financially, physically. This is it. You guys follow me on this? Mm-hmm. And so I really want to be very clear about this is not an exercise to be taken lightly. This is harnessing the power of intention, the power of manifestation. This is the next big step in this process. And I'm excited that we're going to take this journey together in 2024 because your lives are about to change in a way that you can't imagine. My life is about to change in a way that I can't imagine. I'm going to imagine it. I'm going to spend time in that space. And so this exercise, it goes on. And this is something that you're going to want to share with other people. When you're talking to other people, you're going to be like, oh, hold on. My friendship goal. I actually have a friendship goal that I'm going to like this is going to become part of your language. Like I've read this enough that I know that this is what I want with my friendship, and I want to connect with people, and this is how I want to connect, and this is how I want it to work. And I'm going to be able to say that. I'm going to be able to clearly, visually, verbally drop that nugget whenever I can, because this is going to be so wired into my daily thinking. Mm-hmm. You feel it?
I love it. Yeah.
This is cool.
This is a strategic plan, but instead of for a business, it's for you, for your life.
Right. But in all of the areas. Now imagine the speed you could travel once that wheel is balanced.
Yeah.
Imagine the distance that you could go if we could go there together, if we could travel there together with all those wheels. The problem about traveling faster through life and creating this momentum is that pretty soon you'll start to feel, and you may have already started feeling this in the past 60 days, is that there's energies that are just no longer acceptable in your life. Love them. Love that guy. He's a good dude, but he's going to have to be a good dude over there because I am traveling. I've got the ship. I got the rope in my teeth, and I'm swimming this way, and he's not about that.
Yeah, don't got time for that.
I don't have time for that. And so you got to start to be careful where you spend your energy because there's vampires out there that are going to want to take that energy and suck it right out of you. And so that's why it's paramount that the important relationships, the partner is bought into this plan because you don't want her to be the vampire. You follow me?
Yeah.
You don't want that friendship that you want to pour into to be the vampire. I'm gonna invest in relationships that are meaningful and that they want to invest back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can't do that unless they know. This is not a covert contract that we're going to have with our spouse or with our friend or with our finances.
Yeah.
This is a out in the open. Here it is. This is what I want. You want to join me? You want to come along? Kind of a contract. Mm-hmm. So those are the big points that I wanted to cover when it comes to the golden nuggets as far as the annual plan, the dream board, as you will. This is less visual than we have dream boards for. If you want to do a dream board, I'm going to do one this year, but they're cool. Sometimes I haphazardly stumble upon. I manifested a motorcycle from a dream board one time. Can I tell you the story really quick? Yeah. I
love this story.
Wait a second.
I put Bamalama, a Nomad Kawasaki black and silver, on my dream board. I went to a listing appointment that week, the same week that I did the dream board, and I walked through and there was Bamalama, a Nomad Kawasaki black and silver, parked over there, covered in dust. And I said to the guy, and we had just started walking through the house. The way that the listing appointment goes is I make friendly, and then I say, why don't you sell me your house? Show me everything in your house that's reasonable, and I'm going to take notes, because if I'm going to be your salesperson, I want to know the points, the stuff that only you know about your house. So we go into the garage. There's the motorcycle parked right there, and I'm like, hey, man, you're not going to believe this, but I just barely put that motorcycle on my dream board. That's my dream bike. One day, I'm going to have a bike just like that. And he goes, you want that one? And I said, I can't afford it. I'm not in a position that I can buy your motorcycle, but thank you. That's awesome. He's like, what if I make it part of your commission? And I'll go get it tuned up. I'll have the carburetors work through. I'll put a new battery in it and make sure that it's running perfectly. And I'm like, and we hadn't even talked commissions. I hadn't told him like what an amazing real estate agent I was. I hadn't done any of the sales pitch yet. You know what I mean? I hadn't sat down and convinced him like why he should work with me. He was just like, yeah, let's do this. And I was like, hell yeah. And I got the motorcycle for a fantastic deal. He put the work into it. I had to put more into it, of course, to make it the bike that it became. But I manifested that motorcycle in a week.
Wow.
Yeah, Annie's done it with chickens. She wanted a dozen chickens, and I'm like, whatever. She put it on the dream board. We had a dozen chickens by Friday. These things, this manifesting stuff is
It's
no
legit.
joke. It's no joke. And so
It's powerful.
be careful what you put on here and what you share with others, because this is taking it to another level. It's not putting it on the wall and forgetting about it. It's taking time every day, spending that time in that space, and that's where the power is.
If you believe you deserve it, the universe will serve it.
Ooh, baby. Print me a t-shirt, baby. I love that. All right, so I've beat this horse to death. What have I missed? What points do you guys want to like ask me about? Questions about this? The exercise? Have I been very clear about this?
How many spokes realistically should we have?
That's an interesting thing, is as many as you want. You know what I mean? You could have one spoke that you're working on this year. That might be the thing. Your health might be your thing right now, because without your health, you're nothing. But in my opinion, to create a life of fulfillment, there's balance. And that balance is in my physical health, and my spiritual health, my relationship health, my financial health. All of these things matter to me. And so I'm going to spend time on there. Now, I might not have 3 to 5 things on each one. Like my friendship, I might have my friendship spoke might be really strong right now, so I only have like 1 or 2 things in there. You don't have to have a same number of tasks on every single one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Jared?
I like this because it makes you think about all the spokes in your life
Right.
and really spend some time on, and I could really
What do I want from
work
that?
on
Yeah.
the friendship on, or work on.
What do I want from my relationship with my kids?
I like that.
No one ever thinks about that. Their kids are grown and they're gone, and you never really spent time on what do I want from that relationship.
Yeah.
Do I want to spend time on the floor wrestling with Jetty? Yes. That's a big deal.
Every day.
Every day. That might need to be what's in there. Like, let's set some intention around that, because you know what? Jetty is going to be 25 tomorrow.
I know it.
Boom. He'll be grown up and like one of these fools riding a motorcycle.
We'll still be wrestling.
Yeah. I actually believe
It might look different.
Yeah. Don't Jet, stop. But it goes quick. It goes quick. And marriage is a good example. I've been married twice before, and I had no intention in my marriage the whole time. And so what happened in my marriage? Whatever happened in my marriage, because I never thought that I could actually make that choice. It wasn't up to me. It just was what it was. And that's not how this works.
It's crazy when you start to be intentional with your life.
Yeah. So
making the shift into the intentional life
takes guts.
How your marriage changes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All your relationships could change that way.
Right. All your relationships.
Yeah. I think about my physical health. I'm down 120 pounds because I was just eating and existing. I would eat a whole bag of M&Ms in an episode of The Simpsons. The family-size bag. Not the little tiny bag that you get out of the vending machine. The big bag. Peanut M&Ms. I
share size.
Yeah, I'm eating them by the fistful, not like from my fingers, from the fist. You know what I mean? The bottom of the hand, not the top of the hand. Just shutting that bag down. And it was just great. I was raised poor. I never had treats like that around my house. I never had a bowl of anything on the table. We were broke. And so when I came into money, which is code for trashy, terrible food, I had no intention, and I got fat. And so changing my intention, now what do I want? I've lost 120 pounds. I've put on the muscle. I'm in better shape now than I was when I was 29. Better shape. I'm going to be 53 in a few minutes. And I'm that way because I've made the decision. Do you see what I mean? Like, this has changed my life over and over again. And I can tell you the relationship with my body is a pretty important one. I've known a lot of people who have a ton of money who are sick.
Yep.
Right? Have you seen those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. They're rich and they can do nothing with it. Now, the last thing that I want to say is that, and this was brought up earlier with the MVP, is that our lives are already pretty good, right? Yeah. The one thing that the MVP does is help you realize, like, man, of the things I'm worried about, these are pretty good things to be worried about.
Yeah.
I want you guys to know that as you're putting this together, you want to do it after you've done your gratitudes. You want to do this at the highest frequency possible because our lives are already really good. What we're going to do is we're going to just make it better. We're going to take it in the direction that we want to go. This isn't to beat ourselves up at all, I need to improve in my finances because that's not what this is about. This is about coming in with a heart full of gratitude, being like, I am so blessed that I have the opportunity to project into my world the thing that I want the most, to create a life that is worth living. And that's the space that you're going to be coming from. This is not a tool to beat yourself up. I want to be super clear about that, because I'm sitting with the table of high achievers, and high achievers have a tendency to really be hard on themselves about where they are. Man, if I would have just won that lottery, then I'd be a professional baseball player until no, that's not how this works. This works the way that it works. We're where we are because we're blessed to have the journey that we're on. But it's not okay just to sit back and idly travel along. We've done that now for the period of time that you've been on the planet, and it's time to make a change. And so the commitment I'm asking you to do is, this is something that has to happen by January 4th, but this is something that we're going to read every day. This is something that I'm going to bring, and I'm going to have a few of you sign on a couple of these, because the friendships that are in this room are friendships that I want to really improve. Yeah. I love you guys.
I love you too, man.
And so this is important to me, and the business stuff, and there's some business goals that I have set that are going to happen in this group. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Heck yeah.
And so that's what this is about. This is about projecting, not beating ourselves up. This is about moving forward and not looking backwards.
Hell yeah.
We'll go into it with, like you said, to write these, go into it with the Christmas wish list. Like, this is exciting to do.
This is going to be awesome. Yeah. That's how you want to do it. And when you share it with somebody, I want you to be able to share it not with a sense of embarrassment, but with like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
Look what hold my beer.
Yeah.
Watch. I'm about to do some cool shit. And
you
be
might
excited
not believe this, but you should.
Yeah. You're going to see
about to happen.
You're going to see some awesome going down right over her. So that's what this is about. And I just want you guys to understand that that's where we're going with this. This is something I want you to be super proud of. I want you to be able to share it with mom and dad and with the kids and with your partners and whatever it is, because this is it. This is what I'm doing. Come with me. Join me on this exciting journey. And you'll be surprised who asks for these. Oh, can I get one of those? I'd like to try that. I'd like to put some intention in my life. Annie does it with me. Annie puts it together. And one of the best meetings that we have is we're planning the year. We have a year planning meeting. We sit down and here you go. This is what I want. This is what you want. And it's amazing how much we align or how much we don't align that we should probably be conscious of.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
You follow me?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a lot of layers on this that we're going to discuss as we're doing our check-ins in the next 60 or 90 days on where we're going with this, because there's going to be some lessons learned. You're going to put some things on here that are entirely outrageous that you have no business doing, like your early MVP, right?
Right.
And then you're going to start to be dialing that back. And so that's what we're going to be doing for the next 15 or 18 days till the 4th. We're going to be working on dialing that back and getting down the for reals.
I like it.
The for reals, and then that 1 or 2. Oh man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to run that marathon or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. On that note, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends. Please click on the links below. There's going to be a workbook associated with this, a layout, a process that's going to be beautiful, and we're going to give it to you so that you can take this into your lives. You can take it into your family's lives. I would like you to share this with everyone that you know, because creating intention around you builds and strengthens your own intention. If you've liked this, please share it. Please subscribe to this podcast. We are going to be doing Golden Nuggets check-ins and other Golden Nuggets moving forward, and this is something that we're very excited about as a group, and we're grateful that you're here, grateful that you could tune in. Please let us know if there's something that you would like to hear more of or less of, or if you have a guest that you would like us to interview, because we're always looking for great opportunities to learn and grow ourselves. Thank you very much for tuning in to the American Masterminds Podcast. Have a great day.